everyone, Phoenix61 here with your World of Warships Legend Shenanigans for the day. Today we are in the Musashi. These are, Musashi and Yamato are kind of ones that, these big heavy hitting battleships, right? I struggle with these a little bit here and there, so I don't have too many games out there in these ships, but today we do a decent and also kind of, we're going to call out a little bit of a struggle bus situation here as well, and kind of, lunch and learn, so to speak, whatever you want to call this, right? We do get an Iowa nice and broadside out in the distance, so we drop the spotter plane and take our shot at him. And if you notice, yes, we are also broadside, and I'm trying to get turned away. But yeah, we do get a Citadel hit on him, 27,000 damage. And I am just dreading seeing his bullets heading this way, and they don't, so I don't know what his deal was, but anyway. We do get spotted there for a brief moment. Yeah, here he comes. We do get spotted for a brief moment, so I do have my suspicions that there is an enemy destroyer over on this flank. And if you did notice, we do have, there's a cruiser out there as well, right? So he'd be great to shoot at, but we do have carriers in this game, right? And so I did spawn on the sort of weak side of the map, so to speak, at least off to the start here, where, our flank is short a ship, right? We are destroyer and battleship, and that is it. It's just us. So our destroyer is doing a great job, got into the zone. I would have said probably don't bother smoking, right? So if you look at the mini-map, both enemy destroyers now have been spotted, right? So I'm good there. And they're both, one's over at A, one's over at B. So, right, so this destroyer on this flank, right, he's not doing any spotting, right? Unless that Iowa fires his guns, that Iowa's not going to go spotted, which I think might be what happened. That Iowa might have taken a blind shot into the smoke there. But yeah, he's again angled pretty poorly for us, so we get a nice chunky hit on him. But yeah, this destroyer on our team's kind of, he's doing the right thing, right? I can't complain too much, right? Because he went in, he capped the zone, but he's not spotting ships. This is kind of the only struggle there. But we do get some good hits on the Iowa, right? But it's gonna end up being we're gonna have to figure this out now. I think the Cleveland out there does have radar, right? So excuse me, I ate like an apple and it's like stuck in my throat forever, so I might die soon. But anyway, yeah, so you can see that, the Cleveland probably has him on radar or had him spotted for a second there and is just, blind firing into the smoke screen, right? Because he's got nothing else to shoot. And ideally, I'd like to stay not spotted myself, right? But he's gonna, what is this, a Sumner? Right at an American cruiser or destroyer, probably, right? So he's got a long duration smoke screen, nothing spotted over here, and he's still sitting in it, right? There's no point for him to be sitting in that smoke screen other than expecting someone else to spot for him so he can, use his guns, right? Which, totally logical, right? But you have to think, we're short ships on this side, 2 battleships and a cruiser out there, right? So you just have to, keep that in mind. If you expected me to spot, I'm going to get focus fired, and I'm going to be the first one, I'm going to be out quick, right? So, Bismarck probably is getting a little frustrated at the lack of activity on this side. So sometimes patience can really pay off in this game. So he's pushing up, right? But granted, German battleship, good secondaries, decent brawler, right? It makes sense for him to do that. But watch, now, there are multiple ships from B and us and our, and me and myself and this destroyer over here, right, that can shoot this Bismarck, right? So he was at half health or full health, and now he's already down to half. I haven't even shot him yet. Right, so this is gonna be an easy. This is going to be easy pickings, right? It's just a matter of time whittling him down. But yeah, so ideally now would be the perfect time for this destroyer on our team to drop his smoke. Now, granted, it's probably on cooldown, right? Whatever. But yeah, and he's behind this, little bit of island here, right? So he's probably not spotted himself, right? But you got torpedoes, buddy. Get out there, use them. But yeah, it's at this point, it's not going to matter. We'll keep picking on the Bismarck just like everybody else is. He's, of course, not, he's angled appropriately for us, but not for everybody else on my team. And then, as you notice, yeah, we are down 3 ships. So yeah, each team's lost 3 ships at this point, right? So we've played our flank, and we're outnumbered on our flank, so I'm satisfied with what's been happening over here. And then since Bismarck's not even looking this way anymore, right, we could start, I'm going to start turning in and pushing up on him because, yeah, he's getting low on health. That Iowa's way in the back now at this point, and then I'm sure our destroyer player here would love our help with the Cleveland, right, would love our help with the cruiser, right? So let's start pushing up. We've also got quite a bit of health. You guys know me, I'll complain about battleship players that sit in the back and have full, you know, damn near full health towards the end of the game, and I'm like, right, that's, you know, you kind of have to use your health as a resource, right? We'll take that shot at that Iowa, even though he dropped out of spot just for the second, but like that was such a good angle, and we just happen to have the guns there, so taking the shot when we get it, and we do get the Citadel hit. We got 3 penetrations there, right? So unspotted, technically, is kind of, sort of, right? It was probably quick enough that we pulled the trigger, but a better hit than the other 2 that we had previously on him. So now we can see where the Cleveland is just based on the minimap, right? So our airplanes are spotting him. That's why we can't lock onto him. So we'll continue to push up. It's us versus him at this point on this flank. And then, yeah, we're still even on ships. We are ahead on points just because our good destroyer player here on this side, you know, our I don't know, like the you know, the medium level destroyer player, right? Not like, right, he did his part, went in, capped the zone, but then he sat and smoked and didn't spot anything for us, right? So, yeah, you really can't complain. He's doing something, right? You really shouldn't complain. But yeah, if he could probably move out right now and spot that cruiser for us. But I know what's going through his mind. He's going, you know, well, if I spot the cruiser, then I can't shoot him, you know, like, you know, so yeah, because then if he shoots him, he'll get spotted, right? Yeah, but yeah, so a little bit of an annoyance there, but he could move out, spot the cruiser for us, and we could potentially have him gone, right? And then we could go and start moving out towards B and helping support the other caps, you know, the other zones. So Cleveland's going to shoot at us just because we're spotted. We got spotted for a second there, that's fine. We got plenty of health now at this point. We're midway through the game, at least time-wise. We'll keep trying to punch Cleveland in the face. It doesn't always work. A decent penetration there. Does put us up to 100,000 damage. Most of that was probably that Iowa, right? And then, well, it's the Bismarck, but yeah, the Bismarck came in, but we didn't do too much damage to him. Cleveland looked like he took a blind shot at us. That's fine. Swinging a whiff. But yeah, here we go. This is our destroyer again. It's in his smoke screen. Dropped his smoke screen while the Cleveland was spotted, and then the Cleveland disappears. It's like, oh, I was spotting him, right? So, yeah. It is what it is. You just have to deal with it, right? Like I said, shouldn't complain. He capped the zone. Capped the zone. But yeah, we'll keep pushing up, right? Like, Cleveland's not going to be able to do too much heavy-hitting damage to us, so I'm kind of taking the position like, okay, he might not last long, right? So if I can get out there and spot... I did call for intel data, and I don't think he's getting, I don't think he's getting the message, right? The summoner just wants to sit in his smoke. It's fine. So we'll move out. We'll move out and spot him. We get picked up by something here, probably the battleship in B anyway, so we're going to be spotted anyway. But yeah, for the most part, Cleveland's probably going to want to fire spam us. But yeah, we get good hit there. As you can see, yeah, mostly over pens, but we did get one penetration that probably did most of that damage. But yeah, we've got, it's fine if he it's fine if he sets us on fire, right? We've got 2 heals. Plenty of health for the rest of the game. I'm going to kind of just keep pushing up. We take on this, so this Kansas and this Veneto, right, they're paying attention to other things over here, so we'll take advantage of that. Cleveland's going to go behind cover and not have a shot at us. That's fine. We'll just leave him be. Yeah, as you can see, he's still hitting us. He's, with the exception of if he lights us on fire, he's not really doing too much damage. Dude, that shot on that Veneto looked so great, and then half the shells landed short and half of them landed long. Like, just classic. I did slow down here. We do have a pretty healthy Kansas in front of us. It's in the B hole here. So we'll start backing up if need be, and then try and get rid of this Veneto. Then yeah, we're still kind of even on ship count, and they've actually caught up a little bit on points because they've had the A and B caps here. Here we go with our destroyers now wanting to spot stuff. But yeah, he's just it just goes out and starts shooting. Like, if you want to draw some fire, I'm all for it. But like, you know, I would let this, you know, healthy Yamato that's next to you, like myself, right, take some of these hits. Maybe he's counting on the Kansas not wanting to shoot him. So I switched to HE with the expectation that this Kansas would stay, you know, kind of bow into us, and then we could potentially light fires while this destroyer, you know, while this summoner gets some torpedo hits, hopefully. But then the Kansas looked like he was going to start giving us some angle, so I switched back to AP rounds, and then of course now he's still angled, so 2 torpedo hits, that's huge for us. And then, like I said, that Cleveland's still back there, right? He's just not doing that. He's not doing enough damage to us to matter right now, and he's not spotted. So, Citadel hit on the Kansas. That's pretty nice. I was kind of surprised at that based on the angle. And then, yeah, we'll push out so we can hopefully spot this Cleveland. There he is. So just him left and the aircraft carrier, which is fine. We'll get picked on by the aircraft carrier, obviously, right at this point. But we'll move into the zones. Looks like a Chikhlov or something with a full run of fleet skip bombs. So I'm gonna turn away a little bit here. Hopefully this helps mitigate some damage. But yeah, see, now that he's got us lit and on fire, we're bleeding a little bit here. So I'm gonna keep moving out. We'll just kind of angle and deal with this as best we can. Obviously, we're probably not going to be able to get this capture. I'd imagine he's just going to keep resetting it on us, especially if the carrier comes over here as well. So we'll just keep taking our shots and hope to get a little bit better RNG on the penetrations. There we go. Swing and a miss there. And then I'm looking at the mini-map. I'm turning back in because I can see the torpedo bombers coming. So you want to point towards those. One last heal, we'll use it while we're burning. Just need a freaking hit on this guy. Come on. We are up to 148,000 damage though. And then keeping an eye on the mini-map. So I'm going to start turning right because there's skip bombers coming. We'll see if we can angle to avoid some of that damage. Then I slammed the brakes too here. Cleveland looks like he's going to give us some angle finally. So we'll take advantage of that and shoot over the ridge here. We'll damage con the double fire and we get rid of the Cleveland, right? So, and then we did get the zone capped, right? Just because we've got some help in it now. Then we'll start heading towards where we think the carrier is. He's got to be fairly close to us because those planes were coming pretty quick. No, those are 8. Those guys are still 8 kilometers out. All right, we'll push up that way. Cap the zone if we have to. And then I'll go through. Yeah, he's coming for me again. He knows he's set me on fire before, so he probably knows my damage control is on cooldown, right? But we were able to turn into that one pretty good. Yeah, we still 3,700 for that hit on the bow, and it's good we did. Good thing we didn't light on fire. Yeah, if we don't find him, we're gonna run out of time here really quick. So, and then I'll go through how I have the ship set up and the commander build and all that fun stuff. I think I might have been trying the Arpeggio commander or something on this that I had gotten from like Crate or something probably. I'm not sure, but was trying to play around with accuracy builds on Musashi and Yamato. I'm not sure if I like it yet. Yeah, another hit there. But yeah, as you can see, like turning into it is super helpful with those skip bombs. We took many less bombs. Oh, he's off to the right now here. Okay. 10 seconds left. If he doesn't get spotted, I'm going to take a guess and just shoot over there, see if we get anything. He's got to be behind that island, right? Even the cruiser was like, let's just do it. Did we get, what did we get? Dreadnought there at the end? Or with her? Probably Dreadnought. Whatever. 2 medals. We did get the top of the leaderboard, 2700 XP in the Musashi here. Yeah, I just hadn't done a Musashi video in quite a while as well, so figured I'd put one out there. Made a little bit of credits. Yeah, and then I am using this Arpeggio commander, but yeah. Aiming system and propulsion, and then concealment for slot 3. And then I think I've got reload here, right? Yeah, main battery reload, right? So, yeah, and this Arpeggio Musashi commander, right? So, I'm trying to just build into, you know, for inspirations, trying to build into accuracy with it. And then she's got this, like, better dispersion while the spotter plane is out. Flammable cannoneer, gyrating drill bits for more AP damage, better dispersion there. And then this is even, yeah, better fuse time, I guess, and better accuracy, right? And then I had fight fire with fire on, so maybe that helped us, maybe it didn't. But yeah, previously I was using Takagi, this guy, right? And I don't think that, I don't know, I kind of actually like him better, right? And he's the free-to-play guy, right? So if you don't have Colorado, I would just put something else that focuses on, like, AP shells or accuracy. And then almost the exact same build here, right? Just without her, you know, without those unique perks. And then I did have Will to rebuild first, but I mean, Will to rebuild, fight fire with fire are kind of like always both good choices. I know there's a lot of people out there that like fight fire with fire better, especially if you're like a solo player. But yeah, if I'm using Will to rebuild, like you know, you guys know me, most of the time I'm playing by myself, right? I'll go try and use the buddy system if I need it, right? Try and stick near somebody, but yeah. You do you. Yeah, but that's going to be our video for the day, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please do subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate that. Still kind of a small channel, so one new subscription is helpful for me. To appreciate it. And then I do occasionally live stream. I don't have like a set schedule for that, right? I'm Central Time in the U.S., so it's usually evenings for me. So if you're interested in that, we just kind of do casual gameplay. So hit the bell if you're interested in that, and I'll be on randomly here and there. But yeah, thanks again. We'll see you guys next time.